And welcome back, gamers, to the games. I had a really good time last night. Thank you, Paul, for having me on the captain's table. And I'm going to discuss something a little concerning. We got into an economic discussion, and I didn't see a lot of support for industrialists. Industrialist gameplay, hardcore industrialist gameplay, those industrialists that like to actually have effect on valuation, those industrialists that actually want to put buy and sell orders in, those industrialists that want to put pricing in, they weren't present last night on the show. It seemed like a very socialist kind of environment. It seemed like everybody wanted like more of a socialist. I'm okay with SIG dictating prices. I'm okay with the AI, with the algorithm dictating prices. And it seemed like that's what the panel was about, that everybody was fine with that kind of setup. And it was disturbing to me that there wasn't a capitalist kind of audience, that there wasn't a capitalist kind of mindset. Like the industrialist, I don't think is being represented truly. Like the true industrialist gameplay that we like as industrialists, I don't really think is being represented properly except through my channel here. I don't see it anywhere else. I see your guys' comments on my video in support of it. I know you guys exist, and yet when the voice is needed the most, it's not there. It was not there last night. And I think that's going to be detrimental to that type of gameplay within Star Citizen, and it will not appear. And in fact, it's not slated to appear, but I think that if the voice was loud enough, that they would change direction, that they would actually let the players have more control. I agree with Matachi that the ship market is completely off bounds, and think that SIG will control all ship sales so that they can kind of continue selling ships after the game is released, which is kind of bullshit to me. I think there should be checks and balances. I think that player-driven economies, player-driven markets within the game will actually be checks and balances against SIG inflating ship prices. I mentioned that last night. That's because the components that go into the ship can be player controlled, and I think that truer prices can be found with truer supply demand mechanics, with what people want, the players, the gamers want, versus what the NPC dictate to us as valuation based upon volume, as what Tony Zervek was talking about in the panel. So those are my kind of thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I find it disturbing, as I said, and it looks like industrialists' gameplay in Star Citizen is dead. It looks like people that are hardcore industrialists that want to be able to put in buy and sell orders to put that kind of pricing is dead and does not exist. So if you wanted to have that type of gameplay in the game, I suggest you voice up. I suggest you find some balls, and I suggest you start talking. I suggest this is the point where we have to say something. We need to say something now, or it will be like it was last night, pretty much a 1 verse 4, and it's disturbing because I know that you guys are out there. But if we don't speak up, if we don't talk about it, the gameplay will never exist. And don't feel like it can't. Don't feel like just because the others tell you that it is not going to be in the game, don't feel like that it won't be in the game. You have the power. You have the voice. If you want that kind of gameplay in there, if you are loud enough and you cause those waves like I am in the community, then that type of gameplay will be there. But it will not be there if you don't show up. If you don't show up, if you don't voice up. I can't do this alone. And I won't continue to do this and speak this way if I don't really see that support. Because I'm like, hey, you guys don't want that kind of gameplay in there? Great. Then that particular gameplay is dead. Capitalism is dead in the game. And there we go. So there it is, guys. But other than not seeing that kind of voice other than myself last night, I'd say I had a great time. It was to me, I think the biggest deal to me was not seeing the support there for that type of gameplay. Not for me, but just not for that type of gameplay. And it's really kind of a sad thing for me to have to come to terms with. And if that's the case, and this is the game that promised to be everything, but now it is not, and now is not going to give us that gameplay that we want, then, so be it. Done. And move on. And I'll just focus on Pew and PvP, and that'll be it, right? And maybe I can find another game to be an industrialist in. But Star Citizen looking like it's not going to be that game. And if you want it to be that type of game, I would highly recommend that you share the video that I'm speaking on right now, that you get the voice out there. And it's kind of all hands on deck for hardcore industrialists right now, because this is the time where the game can be changed. This is the beginning initial framework of the economy is happening right now. And I think it's really important that right now you do something about it. It's like complaining about a president that's elected, but you never got up off your ass and voted. It's kind of like the same thing that's happening right now. If you want this gameplay, you got to get up and you got to make a vote. You got to get out there and you got to do something about it. Otherwise, the voice that is out there right now is going to pretty much overpower this voice right here. So thanks very much for watching. Pretty intense video, but it's what I kind of it's what I was getting last night. You know, it was the way that I was feeling. It was what I was hearing, and it you know, I know that the other voice exists. I know that the voice I'm speaking about right now exists, and unfortunately don't hear it at all when it's in a forum where it's public. In a public forum, you don't hear it. In private, behind closed doors, you hear it all the time. Like, oh yeah, I wish I could affect pricing. Industrialists want that kind of gameplay, and just not existent when it matters the most. So shame on the industrialists. Shame on the hardcore industrialists. Get out there and do something, guys. Otherwise, it's game over for you, and you got to find another game. And Star Citizen won't have that gameplay. So thanks again for watching here on the Games. Super serious mode, super serious sauce over. Back to the fun. If you want to catch me on stream, go check out the links below. Consider being a patron if you like the channel, you want to support us, you like this voice, keep it going. Go to the Patreon page. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching, and I will see you on the next vid.